We're there. What's
Hey,
going on?
Alex. Hey, how you doing? It's Jason Cruz from MMA Payout once again. How you? We've talked once before. Um, how are you feeling for your fight next Saturday, September 18th?
We're feeling great, Jason. Been having a real good camp, staying healthy, and been able to work out hard. And I got my buddy from the same gym, Mark Lemminger, on the card for Bellator 266. So we're focused and we're getting ready to put on a good show for you guys next Saturday.
Now, are you and Mark have to be paired up all the time? Is that required in your contract that you both must be on the same card?
Oh man, although it may seem like that from the past couple, no, it's we're not technically a package deal, but it's always nice to have a familiar face on the road with you, and it makes focus in training camp a lot easier, and it makes traveling out there a little simpler because there's somebody to work out with and somebody to go through the same stuff that you're going through. So not necessary, but definitely welcome.
Yeah, and so you guys are both training at the same gym currently right now, right? Chosen Few.
Yep. Mark and I are both working out Chosen Few, putting in a lot of hours, and just getting ready to put on a great show here. This Bellator 266. Excited to finally. Not that there's anything wrong with Connecticut, but it's nice getting away from old Uncasville for a sec and getting a new show somewhere else.
Now, I was just talking to the Bellator guy, Colin, before we got on. Have you ever been to San Jose?
Oh, this will be my first time. Although I've been to California. I checked out LA once, and that was just kind of a tourist trip. But anytime you get the chance to check out the beautiful state of California is always exciting. And while I know I'm out there on business, it'll still be nice to get to the sunshine and maybe after the fight, enjoy a little bit of what San Jose has to offer.
Well, I'll tell you from somebody who's been to San Jose. San Jose doesn't offer too much.
Ah,
I'm just kidding. San Jose. I'm a Southern California guy, so that's why I always rag on Northern California. But San Jose is a very nice
okay.
area. You got this, Silicon Valley kind of thing, and you got the Northern California vibe. So it will be fun for you. And obviously, you actually got work to do next weekend. You got Grant Neal ahead of you. So let's talk about that. How have you been preparing for him?
I've said this in interviews before. Really, it's the same prep that I take for every fight, whether it's Grant Neal, whether I'm fighting Carvalho, anyone really at light heavyweight. I'm focused a lot on, as far as previous fights of mine go, I'm watching film, seeing what I've goofed up on, seeing where I need to do work, and really just taking that and stepping it up. I think that until I can say that I'm a perfect fighter and I don't make mistakes, I think it's a little soon to be focused on what they're going to do and how I can stop and smother that. There's still a lot of stuff that I have to work on. But in that regard, we've been working a lot with the coaches on, obviously I have a wrestling background. I try to make a lot of use of my grappling. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we're seamlessly transitioning from, dirty boxing, Muay Thai into wrestling, and having that wrestling complement the striking and having the striking complement the wrestling. So we're trying to, just become an all around better MMA fighter and, staying sharp, staying on top of things, and just making sure that we're bringing our best game to Grant.
Gotcha. And so it sounds like there's much more focus on yourself than a tape study on your next opponent, whoever that may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I feel like it helps me focus a little more on technique, a little bit less things to shift and move around, and this training camp I got to focus on this and this, versus if I'm focusing on myself, it's a continued journey on what I can improve upon. And also it's a little bit of a mental thing for me too. If you're worried about what the opponent's going to do the whole fight, it's what's that old Mike Tyson quote? Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. I mean, we can plan for every opponent here, but sometimes, especially in that cage, the energy's chaotic. If I can focus on what I'm doing a lot more than what he's going to do, then it helps me keep a better mentality before and during the fight.
Gotcha. And before we go delve deeper into your next fight, I want to go back a little bit to your submission over Gustavo Trujillo. You got him via straight armbar, which, to be honest with you, from a grappler's perspective, there's the holy trinity of Americana, Kimura, and then straight arm bars right in the middle. It seems as though, and because I have novice grappling experience, but it seems as though the straight arm bar is the hardest one to hit, simply because it's in the middle and there's flex in there. But like, how did you go? Take a step by step on how you do it. How you did it.
Gustavo, great wrestler, and we were able to engage right away in grappling, and that's where I see a lot of my fights taking place. Gustavo was actually able to flip the script a little bit on me, though. Most of the time when I imagine wrestling in a match, I'm the one getting the takedown and doing the mat returning. He had good hips, was able to put me down, but I think that I was able to keep pressure on him even though I was down on the ground, even though I was defending the takedowns, trying to defend the mat returns. And in that way, I was able to kind of wear down on him until we were able to get that reversal. Once the reversal was in place, I feel pretty comfortable in that side mount position. And just like what you were saying, there's the Americana, there's Kimura, and I feel like it's almost to a point where they are such staples that everybody knows, okay, my arm's down there, I got to fight, and I got to go back, and I got to go back and forth. But I was able to make sure that I had enough pressure on him before and leading up to it that, in between those transitions between the two is when you can catch that straight arm. And once you catch that straight arm, it's a little harder to defend, I feel, just because, your thumb's caught up. And there's really nowhere else for your elbow to go. You're past the point of, giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down to try to get out of one of those. And it's something that I really have practiced a lot of. Really like that side mount, just because of the pressure that it affords me, and able to take my time and work on things like that are out there, without really extending myself and giving up position. I can work on that arm. I can say, oh yeah, it's down here, now I'm going to get the bar, or oh, it's up here, now I'm going to get the Kimura. So in that sense, I think that, although I've heard the same things, like the straight arm bar, kind of uncommon, kind of harder to get, but in that situation, I just did what came natural and did what the opponent gave to me, and able to take advantage.
Interesting. So do you think that the straight arm bar is more technique or more strength? In terms of hitting that move?
I'd be lying if I said that I'm not using strength out there, but it doesn't take too much to go against that elbow. Anyone who's been grappling for long, and as soon as that elbow gets pushed a little bit, it doesn't matter how strong you are. I think I remember hearing once that it only takes 15 pounds of pressure when that arm is locked out. So I mean, it's definitely some of that, but I feel like more so than kind of forcing that straight arm bar, it's the matter of what all led up to it. We were doing a lot of grappling, and although it was the first round, it was late in that first round that I finally was able to capture that bar. So just making sure that he was tired out and trying to make sure that he was thinking about, you know, his lungs and what I was going to do next and whether he was going to have to be able to roll up from there and reestablish control. And in that sense, you know, things tend to get a little desperate. Things get a little sloppy when you're breathing heavy. And he extended that arm and I was able to capitalize and put my weight in the right place. So technique, I'd say it's probably about 50-50 technique and strength, but maybe strength gets put down to endurance and just knowing when to put the weight on at the right time.
When strength meets technique and cooperates with endurance is when you get a submission.
Definitely.
Excellent. So Grant Neal is a ranked in the light heavyweight division. Assuming, and I'm sure you're positive that you will prevail in next Saturday. Do you feel like you should have a number in front of your name?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. Give me that.
Oh yeah, no. Do you think that you should be ranked if you were able to come out with a W in front of with Grant Neal?
Again, I don't want Bellator to yell at me for saying this, but you know, in the same terms that I don't watch a lot of my opponents, rankings are rankings. There's a reason why we're all professional fighters under Bellator. Everybody's good. Everybody's got skills. And you know, it could just be the difference between, you know, the difference between the numbers or making the list or not making the list could just be chalked up to maybe a bad day. I feel like everybody's, you know, up here, we're all kind of vying for that top spot. If I make it to the rankings, great, super. I'm sure I'll have maybe some fans that'll want to reshare that or tweet it or whatever people are doing social media these days. But you know, in terms of my expectations for this next fight, I'm hoping to get out there. I'm hoping to have fun and show everybody, you know, the stuff that I've been working on. In that, I know that Grant's a tough fighter, and Bellator is not shying away from giving me a challenge with a match with him, and so I'm excited to put my skills to the test.
Awesome. Well, hey, Bellator, don't yell at him, for goodness sake. That was a great answer. Alex, you face Grant Neal next Saturday, September 18th. We can't wait to see that happening. Before I get you out of here, my nephew, as you may remember, is going to Northwestern. He returns in a couple weeks.
Yes.
He did the sushi thing. He did the Greek thing. Now he wants a coffee place, local coffee place, not a Starbucks. I mean, he's from Seattle, so he gets enough Starbucks. Is there a local coffee shop near Northwestern that you point him in the right direction? I'm sure he knows, but like, it'd be cool. Something that Uncle can tell nephew. He met somebody from Northwestern.
All right, so I'm going to be letting you down here a little bit, Jason. I'm more of a tea guy. And in college too, I was more, you know, trying to find I'm more grabbing an iced tea off the shelf. So I don't think I can help you, especially if he's Seattle native. I don't want to try to put some coffee place out there and he's like, man, that Alex Polizzi don't know nothing about coffee. I'm not listening to him anymore.
Well, okay.
So
is there a tea place? Was there a special tea place that you have? Oh, you just got iced tea off the shelf. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
All right, Alex. Okay. Well, maybe next time we could talk about your best Italian place or something like that. I'll talk to him and let him know. But you won't disappoint him. He'll be fine. Alex, thank you very much once again. It was a pleasure. Good luck next Saturday. We'll be watching.
Jason, thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Take it easy, man.